Mortal Kombat 1 will be a tag team fighting game. The leader of Edenia is actually Mileena. Raiden's lightning powers are back, even though he's not a god. All that and more is being discussed in today's video, so if you want to stay up to date on Mortal Kombat news, make sure to subscribe and ring that bell down below so you don't miss any future videos. Now, without any further ado, let's begin. Starting off with the tag team rumors, which honestly isn't even a rumor at this point because we've all read the website, right? We've all seen the cameo fighters. Essentially, you have the main roster of playable characters, but then you also have a list of characters who are cameo fighters, which makes them different from regular fighters because you don't control them the entire match. Instead, you can summon them and they do something cool before leaving. Or it could be they show up and then you control them for a short period of time before they go away. That's also a possibility. And while the cameo fighters are cool, that's not what I'm talking about today. I'm talking about an actual 2v2 tag team battle system that also has the cameo fighters on top of it. Or in other words, I think it's very possible that Mortal Kombat 1 is a tag fighting game, and that's the only option. It's always going to be 2v2. And the reason I think that is because of the trailer. Everybody is in pairs. You have Kung Lao with Raiden, Mileena with Kitana, and even Scorpion with SubZero. The only characters we don't see paired up are Liu Kang and Shang Tsung, but I think that's because Shang Tsung is the pre-order bonus, and Liu Kang is his main rival, so they wanted us to focus on Shang Tsung versus Liu Kang, so Liu Kang did not have any partners. And then on top of that, let's be real, Liu Kang is a god in this game, so basically nobody in the trailer is his equal. Once again, the fact that everybody is paired up in the trailer does make me think Mortal Kombat 1 is going to be a 2v2 fighting game. However, there are some people who argue this just shows the cameo system, right? Like maybe Raiden is the playable character and Kung Lao is the cameo fighter. And that could be possible, but I don't think it's the case because we see Scorpion and SubZero together, and there's no way that one of them is a cameo fighter. They're both going to be fully playable. And I think the same thing is true for every character shown in this trailer. I don't think any one of them is a cameo fighter. I think they're all fully playable characters. And in fact, I think Super said it best in his video, so shoutouts to his channel. He said this game might be a lot like Marvel vs. Capcom because in that game you have a 2v2 system where you can switch out your characters. However, on top of that, there's also a list of assist characters that you can use during the match. That was actually my theory too after watching the trailer, but I didn't want to mention it in the reaction because it's a Mortal Kombat trailer reaction. I don't want to mention other fighting games. It felt kind of rude. Now, what's interesting to consider is that in Marvel vs. Capcom, you can only summon assist characters a certain number of times. And in fact, if that assist is really good, you can't use it as often. It has fewer uses. And then on the flip side, if the character assist is bad, you can summon them more times to make things a bit more balanced. However, I don't think that Mortal Kombat 1 is going to do that. I imagine that every character assist is going to have a cooldown instead. Because, I mean, look at Mortal Kombat 11, right? That game was all about meter refilling on its own and all that stuff. So I do think the assist is going to have a cooldown and not a set number of uses. But that's about it for the first topic in today's video. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I love making these videos interactive. Do you think it's possible that Mortal Kombat 1 is going to be a tag team fighting game with the assists on top? Or do you think the cameo fighter is the only tag team we're gonna get? I'm very interested to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. I really do read every single comment on a daily basis, so make your voices heard down below and then leave a like down there if you're enjoying the video so far. Because next up, it's time to talk about Raiden. I do think it's very possible that Raiden still has his lightning powers in this game. In fact, I'm 99% sure. And the reason why I feel this way is because there's a clear thunderstorm behind Raiden in the background. That was intentional from the developers. I think Raiden's still gonna have lightning powers. Because even though he's not a god in this game, I don't think that matters much because think what Liu Kang could do, right? He could summon and throw fire, no big deal. Johnny Cage could throw green energy orbs, and even Nightwolf had awesome superpowers, so you get the idea. It's not uncommon for regular humans to have supernatural powers in the Mortal Kombat universe. And as a result, I think it's very, very likely that Raiden still has his lightning powers in this game despite not being a god anymore. Which is actually really cool if you think about it, because if this game does have a Mortal Kombat tournament, that means Raiden can finally compete, which is sick to think about. But next up, let's talk about Mileena, because there are so many fun theories flying around about Mileena at the moment. And I want to give a shout out to this one person on Twitter specifically, because they have a really cool theory. If you look closely at the carriage during the trailer, it has Mileena's colors on it, which is interesting because Kitana is the first person we see. And since Kitana is always the princess in past games, we just assumed this was her carriage and Mileena was along for the ride because she's her sister. Or at least she was raised as her sister. She's her clone technically, but you get what I'm going with here, right? Anyway, my point is, it's very possible that Mileena is actually the princess and ruler of Edenia in this game. Because why else would the carriage have her colors specifically? I thought maybe it was just purple. No, it's like Mileena's shade of purple, violet, kind of maroonish. purplish. It's definitely meant to be Mileena's colors. There is no way that's a coincidence, so the developers made it purple on purpose. And that could mean a number of things, right? Nothing is set in stone. It could mean that Mileena is the ruler of Edenia, and I do think this is Edenia and not Outworld, just throwing that out there. However, the colors on the carriage could also imply that Mileena is getting married to somebody, possibly as a peace treaty between realms. It may sound a bit silly for Mileena to get married, but keep in mind that's what royalty does. They marry off their kids to other kingdoms to create peace between the kingdoms and grow their empire overall. But that's just one theory. I think it's more likely that Mileena is on the way to her coronation to become the leader of Edenia. I think it's very possible, because look what's happening outside. It's a clear parade and celebration of the royalty. Something big is happening in this trailer. It's not just them going on an afternoon stroll. There's something big about to happen. So I think the coronation celebration is the most likely. It could be they're doing something for Mileena. Maybe it's just her birthday. I don't know. The point is the carriage has her colors. And finally, there's one more theory I wanted to talk about. A lot of people noticed that Jade is missing in this trailer, and that could just be for budget reasons. You know, the developers didn't want to render every single character, so they made a judgment call. Who's more popular, Mileena or Jade? Mileena? Okay, put Mileena in the trailer. However, some fans have theorized that maybe Mileena is actually the bodyguard to Kitana in this game instead of Jade, which is an interesting theory because keep in mind, it's Mileena that steps out of the carriage during the eclipse to inspect things and keep Kitana safe. She stays inside the carriage, and that's really important to take note of because Kitana is actually the first person to look outside and notice the eclipse, but it's Mileena who steps out to investigate. So it's very possible that Mileena is the bodyguard of Kitana. Once again, everybody, all of these are just fun theories, but let me know in the comment section down below, which theory do you think is the most likely for Mileena? Why does the carriage have her colors? And also let me know which theory is your favorite, even if it's not the most realistic, and of course also post your own theories in the comment section down below. What is going on with Mileena in this trailer? I don't think she's getting married because her attire looks nothing like a bride. It looks closer to a bodyguard's attire, but at the same time a coronation could be likely too. Because who knows, maybe she gets changed at the event, like the wedding dress is waiting for her at the castle, or the coronation gown is waiting for her at the castle, and until she gets there, Mileena just wears her usual attire, which by the way, funny thing to take note of, I find it hilarious how the trailer went out of its way to not show Mileena's cleavage. The camera is panning up and then just skips to her neckline, which I find so funny. But now finally, it's time to talk about Scorpion and SubZero, because in this game, they have a very unique relationship. And I want to give a shout out to the Fourth Snake because he covered this topic in extreme detail and it's amazing. Here's the video on screen. I highly recommend you check it out. Also, his channel is just amazing. Even so, I was the first person to make a video on this subject, so I still feel like I can cover it in more detail. In my initial reaction video, I pointed out that SubZero and Scorpion have the exact same button in the exact same spot on their costumes, which definitely could imply that Scorpion and SubZero belong to the same clan. And in fact, if you zoom in, I do believe you can see that SubZero has the Lin Kuei symbol on his chest, which means that Scorpion has the same symbol too, because once again, the button is the exact same size in the exact same spot, and in fact, they're even wearing the exact same costume with some very tiny differences. So once again, I think it's very, very likely that SubZero and Scorpion are on the same team in this game and also part of the same clan. And that theory makes way more sense than you might think, especially if you watch the Four Snakes video, because he dives into the history of the Lin Kuei and Shirai Ryu factions and explains how one of them is actually split off from the other, and the founder's name is Takeda. Did you know that? I did not know that Takeda is named after that founder. That's pretty crazy stuff. So once again, I highly recommend you check out the Four Snakes video on that topic because it's so interesting and I knew none of that. He is the lore expert, not me. Now, unfortunately, SubZero and Scorpion don't get to do anything cool in this trailer. They just stare each other down, have a bit of a bromance, and then face the eclipse together, and then get owned by Shang Tsung, which is the one thing I don't like about this trailer. It was so cool seeing everyone's new costumes, new designs, and new story details, but then they just died like they don't matter at all, and Shang Tsung killed all of them. Are you telling me the entire hero squad can be taken down by one villain? I know it's Shang Tsung and he's one of the big bads, but even so, come on, man, guys, hold it down a bit better than that. But anyway, everybody, that's about it for today's video. One last time, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Make your voices heard. And then while you're down there, make sure to smash that like button if you enjoyed the video, because every like really does help my channel out a ton, and I'm being serious about that. So after leaving a like, keep that combo going by subscribing and ringing that bell. That way you never miss a future video. Make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.